any major decision you have to make, whether it's about starting a new business, whether it's about learning a new skill, whether it's about getting into a new relationship, whether it's about moving out of a relationship, whatever big decision you have to make usually involves a lot of thinking, it involves a lot of fear, it involves a lot of insecurity, and it also involves looking at the feasibility of making that project work. So it becomes fundamental, it becomes very important to actually look at the possible dangers and threats, and also look at the opportunities that this event might bring to your life. So in this podcast, we're going to discuss about a strategy, a tactic, which is called the DOS strategy, which was originally created by Dan Sullivan a long time ago. But we're going to take that concept and try to adapt it to personal development, okay? And something you can actually integrate in your personal life very easily. We're going to break it down, dissect the structure so that you can easily understand it and use it and boost up your productivity or actually make wise decisions in your life. So in the DOS strategy, the D stands for danger, the O stands for opportunities, and the S stands for strength. So when you're being presented with something new and you need to actually make a decision about it, you actually need to look at these three aspects, all right? And it's actually a very realistic way of looking at new opportunities which come up to you. So to explain the exercise to you, I'm going to use a very simple example of someone who wants to actually do a new course so that the person gets to update his or her skills, all right? So the scenario is going to be about learning a new course, all right? So that's the title. Now, if that's the new event which is going to come in someone's life, we need to actually now use the DOS system to try to assess that event, all right? So if you want to do it with pen and paper, what you need to do is you need to take a piece of paper and then draw two lines so that you have three different columns, all right? And the title of each column is going to be as follows. So make sure you have three different columns, and in the first column as title you've got danger, in the second column as title you've got opportunities, and in the third column as title you've got strength, all right? Now what you're going to do is in the first column under danger you're going to write down all your fears, all the insecurities you feel, all the negative things you feel when that thing is being presented to you. You need to do a new course. What are all the fears that you experience in your body? You're going to write all these things down in the first column. So possible pointers which I'm going to give to you could be, time. Maybe you think that you won't have enough time to give and actually learn the course. So time could be a barrier. You could have money, the cost involved in doing the course. You could have your confidence, which is very low. So low self-confidence actually makes you feel fearful. So low self-confidence, and possibly you're downplaying the importance of doing a new course by saying that, the other people in my company are already qualified with, and they already have this qualification. So how will that change anything if I do it anyway? Because that's the sort of attitude a lot of people have, so that they actually stay in the comfort zone and they don't do something, something new which will actually make them grow. So these are the things which will fall under the danger category, the D. Now, if you focus on the second column, which is opportunities, you need to think about what the new course will bring positively to your life if you actually do the course. So you could talk about, for example, a boost in confidence. You feel more confident if you do the new course, because every time you do something new, you start to feel better about yourself. You start to get more confidence. All right, so boost in confidence. You'll be more skillful. Your self-worth will increase, because every time you learn something new, you start to feel better about yourself. We just mentioned that. So self-worth, your market value will increase because you've got more qualifications, so you become more marketable. You could negotiate a salary, for example, over there. Your market value will increase. You'll become more creative, because every time you learn new skills, you try to use these skills in your day-to-day activities, and you start to do things in new ways. You become more creative, and once again, it keeps the momentum going. So that's something very good as well. And so all these things we've discussed will actually fall in the second category, in the opportunities one. Now, you need to balance both these two things. So all the good things the event will bring, and all the fears, you need to balance these two with your strength. By your strength, I mean, do you have the skills to actually do the course? All right. So under your strength, you're going to write down what are the things which you possess and which are actually your most valuable assets. For example, you could have someone who's a very good communicator. You could have someone who's a very good planner. You could have someone who has lots of patience. You could have someone who has very good people skills. You could have someone who's very creative. You could have someone who writes well and plans well. Someone who's good at marketing. All the things which actually are your strength. Okay, and which are pretty unique to you, you need to write them down in the third column. So by doing this exercise, you're actually being able to write down your fears and be very aware about them. You need to be very honest when you do that. You're able to look at the opportunities, and you're able to look at your strength. And your job, after having done this, is to actually get inspired by the opportunities in the second column, and try to come up with a plan about how you can use your strength to make you reach these opportunities. All right, and we won't just neglect the first column. It's there. So, but what we'll do is we'll look at the first column and then check, are some of the things in the first column items I can tackle, or the aspects of my psyche which I need to overcome? Am I just being too fearful of doing something new? So you need to evaluate whether they are real threats or they're actually not that real, because real threats exist as well. Let's say you're planning to start a new business about selling something, and there are competitors doing the same thing and they're better than you. You won't be able to match them. So there are actually real threats in terms of setting a business and competition and all that. But a lot of the dangers which we write in the first column actually come from beliefs we have about ourselves. We've taken on the opinions of people, and we're just being fearful. We are in the survival mode. We're always on the defensive side and not being offensive, to go grab it and attack and do something, grow. We're always in that defensive state. So you need to actually look at what are the real threats and what are the things we need to work on. And one thing we need to realize is that in able to grow, in able to become a better version of yourself, you need to take risks. You need to take risks. The threats are always there. You're going out of your house, you're driving, there's a threat of another car colliding with you. Threats exist there every day, every moment. But how you grow out of that situation of threats and fear, by being courageous, by still going on even if you're feeling fearful, that's what will actually make you grow. So I hope that you found that exercise quite inspiring and interesting. I find it very fascinating when I talk about it, but I hope that you found it amazing. Okay, so in the next session, we're probably going to discuss about how to have an action plan to actually meet these objectives we've set. All right, so I'll see you very soon. Lots of love.